something hidden here. It looks like a page from a journal.
Sir, it appears you've stumbled onto a lead in Gotham's longest-running cold case.
Cyrus Pinkney.
Indeed. He was instrumental in the city's rise to power and prestige. Worked closely with your ancestor, Solomon Wayne, as well. Alas, he was murdered on the eve of his 40th birthday. The killer was never found.
Interesting.
I recognize you're preoccupied this evening, but should the opportunity present itself, solving Gotham's oldest crime would make for quite the feather in your cap.
Now it's the most annoying stuff, which is the Pinkney files and then the Riddler files, which I will be using guides for both of those things. So the first one's over here somewhere. Right there.
Told you he was real.
You did tell him.
They're fighting
Maybe.
with that freak.
I don't actually know if he told
That's
him.
one fancy freak. The boss wants him.
What? Did I not have enough to do another freaking takedown?
I'm gonna try.
Are they both already knocked out? Oh. It didn't do like a knockout yet, so I thought someone was still awake. Cyrus Pinkney, page number 1. Should be right here in the Bowery. Oh, I had to read it myself. I thought he read it. Jezebel Tower. Whereas opera was for the elite, a theater was for the common man. A common man himself, Cyrus built the Jezebel Theater as a center for theater, or center for the entertainment of the masses. While always a popular spot, the theater has seen its share of troubled times, particularly during the Depression. To make ends meet, the owners sold their rooftop space to the GCR company for one of their radio tower installations. People of Gotham consider the tower an eyesore and say that Cyrus Pinkney is rolling in his grave. Cyrus might take solace that people are at least still enjoying his theater over a century after its construction.
January the 13th, 1855. The moment of my death approaches, and there is naught I might do to stop it. I dare dream of greatness, but in the process, I forgot that such ambition oft demands a heavy price. Still, I pay it gladly. For knowing that Gotham has become a city whose magnificence will echo across the ages. But its origins must not be forgotten. And so, I have scattered my journal across the city, placing pages where I believe they shall endure. Find them, read them, then share what lies within. For though the truth may not be so beautiful as the legend, it is necessary all the same.
Number 2 is here in Amusement Mile. You can see the Dixon docks in the background. Gotham Rail. From a business perspective, construction of the rail yard was one of Henry Cobblepot's smartest projects. Nearly all goods flowing into or out of Gotham by sea went through the yard. Control of the yard was one of the main reasons for Cobblepot's economic success. Cyrus restricted this project in favor of other more artistic and civic structures, but Cobblepot insisted that as the industrial heart of Gotham, the rail yard was of supreme importance. He refused his financial backing of other projects until Cyrus and Solomon being Wayne, finally agreed to his terms. The rail yard still sees plenty of port traffic, but accusations of corruption abound, and most consider the yard a dangerous place frequented by gangsters and other unsavory elements. The yard was recently purchased by Ambertech, a global shipping and logistics firm. It's number 2, right? Yep.
April the 22nd, 1846. Our recent financial troubles have forced us into business with one Henry Cobblepot, a print magnate of questionable repute. The man cares little for me and my base station, as he put it. And so, the negotiations are left to Solomon. But I fear his idealism shall lead us down a treacherous road, for Cobblepot is a sneak, and surely his sweet words mask a nefarious intent.
There's one here in the Coventry. I don't know exactly where I'm at. It's under a bridge with like 3 faces on it. We're at the Cyrus Pinkney School of the Arts. A city is like an organism, constantly evolving. There was once a building here, a school for the arts. While Solomon Wayne was a practical man concerned with reading, writing, and arithmetic, Cyrus recognized that these practical skills became most useful when applied to creative expression. So, his school was built to teach children the power of their imagination. There are some strange tales of the odd projects that came from students at the school, including one where a student project went horribly wrong. There was a fire, and several students died or were badly burned. Some blamed the student, some blamed the instructors. Regardless of where the blame lay, Henry Cobblepot used the tragedy to have the school shut down after Cyrus Pinkney's death. Cobblepot then bulldozed the site and built apartment housing. This one's number 3.
August the 11th, 1851. I fear I've angered Henry Cobblepot, but he sought to build over the last remaining vestige of the original Gotham, and I could not allow it. Solomon and I went before the mayor and bade him support us. Henry was opposed, insisting his work was necessary for Gotham's financial security. I think it's more to do with his own. Solomon Wayne's hotel put Cobblepots out of business. I do wonder if Mr. Wayne erred in opening that place. But what's done is done.
There's one here on Pioneer's Bridge. The opposite side of your glide thing. Pioneer's Bridge. When Solomon Wayne proposed building a bridge off the southern end of the island, even Cyrus was shocked. At the time, there were few settlements south of the city, save for Wayne Manor, which was still under construction. City Council called it a bridge to nowhere. And yet Solomon persisted and used his considerable influence to get the permits he required. The concept of building this bridge was so ludicrous, even Solomon's arch-rival, Henry Cobblepot, gave it his approval. Cyrus convinced Solomon to make this bridge a historic monument to the Scandinavian pioneers who first founded the city, and adorned the bridge with massive statues depicting the hardships those first settlers endured in this new world. In the end, Solomon's vision was validated as the bridge made new land accessible. Business thrived in the south end of town. New Gotham saw rapid growth, became the home of the Gotham rail yards, and soon became the industrial and financial heart of the thriving city. And this is number 4.
February the 7th, 1852. I have met the most extraordinary young man by the name of Amadeus Arkham. Though still just a student, he exhibits an intelligence unmatched by even Gotham's most learned. He is possessed with a kind heart as well, and seeks to help those who all others have abandoned. Rehabilitation instead of incarceration. It is the most progressive notion, and one that few of his peers support, but I believe. And so, I shall provide him with plans for the greatest asylum the world has ever known.
The next one is here at the church on top of the roof. There's a data pack above it. The Old Gotham Cathedral. This old Gotham Cathedral was designed by Cyrus Pinkney, with the financial backing of Judge Solomon Wayne. The judge was a religious man, and erecting the church was among the first architectural projects he and Pinkney worked on together. Once complete, it became a centerpiece of the growing city. Though the cathedral was well received, and though he was certainly happy with the result, Pinkney would be quick to point out that his other projects had a more broad appeal amongst Gotham's citizenry. For Solomon, the church was one of his proudest life accomplishments. He was often invited to give guest sermons for the pulpit, and was happy to oblige. The force of his deep, bellowing voice was said to compel confessions from even the most hardened criminals within earshot, and to keep folk who might otherwise be tempted into wickedness on the straight and narrow for fear of having that voice unleashed on them. It's number 5.
April the 3rd, 1853. I am sorry, Solomon, to have gone behind your back, to have bargained with the devil. But the accounts have run dry, and our work is but half begun. I had no choice but to approach Henry Cobblepot. The others would contribute no more. He consented to my request, though I fear it will come at a great cost. For now, he says I owe him nothing. But how long until I do?
There's one right here next to the drop point on the horse statue in Park Row. Solomon Wayne Courthouse statue. This statue was erected to honor Judge Solomon Wayne. Solomon was a force for justice in a corrupt city. He worked with Cyrus Pinkney, helping Cyrus realize his architectural dreams for Gotham, while furthering his own agenda of making Gotham a fortress of Christian piety. Solomon Wayne was known as a harsh judge, almost always sentencing criminals to the maximum penalty allowed by law. However, on his other hand, he was merciful to the needy, and sought to create facilities and programs to help Gotham's less fortunate. These actions made him loved by the Gotham's citizens, victims of crime, but equally hated by Gotham's criminals. It's number 6.
December the 22nd, 1854. I fear I am not long for the world. Henry Cobblepot finally came to collect, and I refused. He wishes to open a munitions factory inside the city. This is not part of the plan, and it works against everything we've accomplished, to say nothing of the danger to Gotham citizens. I went to the mayor and begged him to introduce a bill banning the endeavor. Thankfully, he agreed, but I'm sure to be punished for my betrayal. It's only a matter of how and when.
Number 3 is on top of the bank, underneath the bell.
Potential assignment incoming. Keep this channel open.
Oh, I've apparently already scanned it. Oh, because it's this one. It's counted as the mall, not as the bank. Pioneer statue, Jezebel Mall. Scandinavian settlers arrived on these islands in the mid-1600s and labored through harsh winters to build the foundations of Gotham City. There are many tales about what these settlers endured, from encounters with mystical beings to fights over Native American burial grounds. Much of Gotham's early history has been garnered through folklore passed down orally during those first trying years. Eventually, the British took over the settlement. While Cyrus Pinkney and Solomon Wayne sought to construct a Gotham that was a fortress against evil and corruption, Cyrus also drew upon the story of these pioneers who persevered against all manner of hardships and stayed true to their vision of making a life for themselves in the New World. Solomon saw their plight as an allegory for his own religious experience. According to the thing I'm following, this is number 3, but it appears to be number 7? Because I have a 7. Alright.
January the 11th, 1855. I've accepted the invitation, knowing it means my death. Henry Cobblepot claims it's merely a party to celebrate my 40th birthday. He insists that he's forgiven my past transgressions, turned over a new leaf, as it were. But I know better. With me gone, he will use his wily charms to see the law changed and his factory built. Already there are rumors that his son, Theodore, intends to run for mayor. Victory is all but assured. I will hide this journal of mine in the hopes that someday it might be found. To go public now, before my work is done, would put it all at risk. It must wait. but I hope in time my words are brought to light.
We now have a thing on our map that says Point of Interest. Investigate Cyrus Pinkney's crypt. Oh. Oh. Alright. That guy kind of just let that happen. Terrible peripheral vision. So it's all the way down here, because I already came down here. The book is backwards on that shelf. Wasn't Amadeus Arkham fake? Why is this guy... One, why is this guy huge? Two, why were these two dudes thrown backwards? It's either sanity or family fighting the madness. Sanity fighting the madness. So there are 3 skeletons that actually show up on my vision. What is this creepy red doll? Well, let's read this final plaque.
January the 14th, 1855. My God, it worked! Amadeus truly is a genius. Oh, you've come this far, dear reader. Allow me to explain. I learned Cobblepot intended to poison me, and so we endeavored to replace his tainted wine with one of our own creation. As expected, I choked, I sputtered, and then, I passed. But it was not poison I consumed, rather something made by Amadeus. His concoction enabled me to enter a soporific state so profound that even to the keenest of physicians, I appeared a corpse. Yet here I am, resurrected. And now I will have my revenge. Henry Cobblepot will pay for what he's done.
An interesting turn. In trying to solve one murder, you've discovered the origins of another.
Henry Cobblepot.
Yes. City records say it was an automobile accident that killed him not long after Cyrus's supposed passing. But now we know the truth. He was murdered by the man he thought he killed.
What about Pinkney?
It appears that's a mystery that must endure a while longer.
Okay. So Pinkney clearly had a taste of the Lazarus water, Lazarus poison. Lazarus, whatever it is that brings him back to life. And that's why he's going mad. But Amadeus Arkham wasn't a real person. In, oh, well, we'll get into that when we play the other games. So I don't really want to spoil it. But if you know, you know. Amadeus Arkham wasn't a real person. So my guess is the people who made Origins didn't watch or play through the entirety of the other Arkham games. So they are just assuming that Amadeus Arkham was a real person. Or maybe Raish was impersonating Amadeus Arkham. Who knows? I'm gonna assume it's the same one.
January the 14th, 18...
Yep.